Jema. Salam besties. So you're telling me that you haven't met your galactic family yet? Well, what are you doing? They're literally right here. What are you doing? The ETs are giving very much present, very much concurrent, very much right now, right here in your face. Okay, but no, seriously. What if I told you that connecting to advanced galactic extraterrestrial beings is not about reaching out there? It's about tuning in here to the right radio station. I am a multi-dimensional beam of light. Well, show me. You are an interdimensional queen, and we are going to serve that right. I'm about to put you on to how easy it can be. It doesn't have to be this over complicated, expensive, long, tedious journey to figure out how to connect with your galactic family. So I recently had this very wild experience creating, working with Japji and Pleiadian beings, which is insane. But I'm talking like I disappeared into a whole nother dimension, very much the same way Guru Nanak did. And Japji is how do you even, it's a song, it's a shabad, it's a sacred song is not even a good enough word. It's literally like a coding script. So, okay. So about 500 years ago, Guru Nanak, I don't know if he was called Guru when this happened, but Nanak, who was born and raised in the Punjab, and where he was very much like Muslim, Hindu. He got born into this place where those two energies were like present and not very friendly with each other. And he always saw beyond duality, and he always kind of played with them. Like he would wear Muslim clothes and Hindu clothes mixed together. Like very like, no, you don't do that kind of thing. But he just like didn't care. He wasn't programmable like many starseeds are not programmable. They just don't buy what the system is giving them to like fall into. Okay, and he came from kind of a wealthy family. So he had a servant. And I think this happened, I always feel like he's a kid when this happens, because I try to meditate on this moment a lot, but he wasn't. He was like 30 when this happened, but he was still with his servant, who was actually like this super beautiful, loyal, love, friend, bestie. And he would go every morning to bathe in a river, do a little meditation, take his daily dip, and then begin his day. And his servant would come with him. And so he's just doing that. The river is also called the Kali Bain. So it's literally tied to, well, it means black stream, but Kali, I mean, you could have used a lot of words for black, right? So it is, you know it's her, you know it's Ma. So he's taking this daily bath after praying there. One day he goes, takes a dip in, never comes back out. His servant, friend, bestie is freaking the fuck out. Because he came from wealth, because he came from like a business class, upper, very high business class family, it was like not okay to lose him. You know, it was like not okay for him to just not come back home. So his servant was frantic. The whole area became frantic looking for him. He was gone for 3 whole days. Like his clothes, everything was just left as it was. He literally walked into the river, you know, you blink and look around, you turn around and it's like, where is he? Is he coming out? Did he put his head under? Where is he? Where did he go? Where did he go? You're realizing he's not coming back out. I'm sure people are plunging in there, searching for a body, searching for evidence, something. Is he playing a prank on us? Like, is this another thing that he's doing? You know, but it was it was a time of intense panic. It was a time of like frenetic searching for like, where did he go? It doesn't make any sense for him to just be gone. And then 3 days after all of this intense emotional upheaval, he just comes back. Boop. He just literally pops back out of the water. Okay, so when he comes back, he is literally not the same. He literally He glowed? It's the past tense of glue. He was gluing. He was glowing when he came out of the water. He was radiant. There was a light emitting from him. Everyone is staring at him like mouth on the floor. Where have you been? We have been looking for you. And you were in there the whole time? Like, what? You know, the first thing he said out of his mouth was, there is no Hindu, there is no Muslim. He had blown through duality. And then he proceeds to sing this 30-minute song that basically is the coding script of our multiverse. And then, like, you know, people are like running to write it down. They're like listening at first. I'm like, I was worried about you, boo. And you're just gonna sing. And then, wait, I'm listening to what you're singing and it is profound and it's blowing my mind. And where did that come from? You know what I mean? And why are you glowing? So many questions. But okay, so it's very much kind of obvious to me that he went somewhere and he received a transmission in a very real way. My first contact experience was not like that. I didn't disappear anywhere for 3 days, but I had a profound dream that I can never forget. It's always going to be in detailed, emblazoned in my mind. It's one of the only dreams I've ever had that is like this, where I was on a spaceship with two beings, and in my dream space, I knew these beings were my parents, even though I had never seen them before. And I even feel emotional talking about it. And okay, so it kind of felt like I was getting yelled at, like I was getting lectured by my alien dad. And my mother was standing behind him, and they're like these big, almost transparent silver beings, luminescent beings. I remember just kind of being like, huh, what's happening here? What is this, you know? And like, I don't understand the language that was being spoken, but I understood the message. And it was like, you need to get your act together. We are not waiting any longer for you to wake up, right? It was like a very, and then the energy coming from the female was like this like beautiful love, just like, I'm just happy to see you, kind of. Like, your dad's yelling at you, that's fine. I'm just really happy to see you. And like, I can remember every detail of what they were wearing, of what the ship looked like, of what I felt like, of what the sound sounded like. Like, it was an imprint. It was like an impression. I can't remember what happened yesterday, but I can remember that dream to the T. So when I woke up, I had this word like emblazoned in my brain, and the word was Pleiadians. And I had never heard of Pleiadians before. I had never seen it written even before. I had no idea how it was supposed to be pronounced, because it's got like all the vowels in one. And it was like in hot pink bubble letters, like when you go to the boardwalk like if you go to like Ocean City or the boardwalk somewhere and they spray paint shirts with like your name on it or your crush's name on it. It was like that. It was like very tacky beach town hot pink font of the word Pleiadians. And I was just like, what? I couldn't get it out of my head. Like I couldn't unsee it. And I had never had anything like that mentally going on with me. So I Googled it. And that literally, fast forward, and we're here now talking about aliens. Like it never stopped. It never stopped. So I feel like they gave me what I needed in such a profound way that I could hold it when I come into this waking consciousness and still like, I wouldn't lose anything. I would be able to work with it. I think when you do have interdimensional experiences like this, and it's like in alignment with a mission, with something that you have to deliver, with something that you have to like transmit, it comes through like this burning impression in your head. And I feel like that's why he came out of the river and just started Ekonkar Satanam Karta Purik Nirbo Nirver Kalmure Tajuni Sai Bangur Prasad Japad. He just kept singing and singing these words about the structure of reality and about like how things work here and what is exactly is going on here and the nature of the creator of this place. All of this stuff that's just like, what? This is profound. Okay, you disappear for 3 days and you come back with this. It's like, it reminded me of that Pleiadian bubble letter word is like something that you just have to get out. And I know how everybody probably feels very differently about him now, but the infamous Billy Carson, when he was sharing so much ETT, the T of the ETs years ago, when he talks about his first contact experience, he says something very similar to that. Like his was a little bit painful and traumatic, and it also led to like the loss of his family, and like really hard things came from his truth, his standing strong and like saying what happened to him and not lying about it. But he said after he had his contact experience with ETs, he had a word in his head, in his own voice, that he couldn't get out of his head. And I think it was like worldwide telescope. I don't know. I can check that later. I think he couldn't stop thinking worldwide telescope, worldwide telescope, worldwide telescope. And it drove him crazy to the point where he searched it up. And then fast forward, he's here. You see how it's like when these things have to get through, when it's like a download like that, like, and it's not going to go away. It's like this impression and it just has to come out of your mouth. So Japji is so profound that you can it's broken up into sections called pauris, and each section expresses a quality of the nature of reality. Literally a code, literally the coding program of this planet. Like, and people have realized if you chant this section, this happens. If you chant that section, that happens. If you chant the 25th section, money comes. If you chant the 33rd section or the 13th section, you're open to occult powers. If you chant the first one, you'll become very grounded and your spiritual life will explode. If you do these things a certain amount of times, it happens more profoundly, more rapidly. And usually people use the vibration of 11 when working with pauris. They'll say, chant the 25th pauri of Japji 11 times a day and you will become wealthy. It's inevitable. That, to the point where the 25th pauri of Japji has been named the millionaire's mantra. I don't know. It's catchy, but it's not really giving it the beauty that it deserves. So for the Patreon school, we're working with the hidden occult practices of the golden practices. The practices that alchemists, yogis, occultists, practitioners of magic, these practices are used to gain material wealth in the third dimension. Working with these and like kind of structuring it out, I definitely wanted to get the 25th Paudi of Japji in there. And I'm very much led in everything that I'm creating. So I'm working with this sacred prayer. I was being called to work with the English translation of the 25th Paudi of Japji. And my teacher always said, like, don't worry so much about the translation, because the Gurmukhi is the language that it's in is the vibration that you need really to make the shift. And I actually appreciate learning a mantra before I know what it means, because I get a very personal relationship with that mantra. It's my, like, I'm meeting it, you know, without anybody. Imagine if you met somebody who everyone like told you about before you met them. They're like, she's like this, she's or whatever, you know? So when you meet her, you already have that built up in your head about what to expect, you know? So it's kind of like that. When you don't understand the mantra, your ignorance is actually to your benefit, because you can, enchanting it and getting to know it at that base level of just like cognizance. Like I have a non-conceptual definition of what you are. It takes on a personality. It becomes its own thing for you very personally. And I've been working with this mantra for about 6 years now, and it is as magical as everybody says it is. Like, I would put it on my mama. You chant the 25th Paudi of Japji 11 times a day, you will be fine financially. But my guides were sharing with me the power of the English translation also. When you just read the words, like, and sometimes I do this to people, I'll just send them the words. And it reads like a poem. And usually people are like, I'm crying. Like, what is that? Like, did you write that? I'm like, hell no, I didn't write that. That is so profound. But like, it will, like, if you have never experienced it before, never heard of it, didn't even know what Japji was, what a Paudi was, what anything was, and you just read the English translation of the 25th Paudi, you would be like shook. I'm telling you, it's the fabric of reality, and your soul is made out of this fabric. So when you read it, there's this crazy resonance that happens. And my guides were telling me to work with the English translation, just reciting the English translation, and then going over it, like letting the words become light language, and then kind of like layering the sounds. So I was doing that and I was lost. I was like, the sounds are floating everywhere. I was just in that space, like Guru Nanak Dev Ji's energy was everywhere, because I was like working with it for so long, for such a long time. I really felt like I slipped out of this reality. I felt like I like went away. Just your average Tuesday. But wait, I want to show you something. Before I show you exactly how to have your own contact experience, we need to talk about something super important. And I need a crystal. Like, this is life-changing important. Okay, look at this rock. First of all, look at this rock. A tree being gave me this rock. My counsel tree gave me this rock, and look at it. It has a smiley face on it. And when you turn it around, frowny face. Smiley face, frowny face. Anyway, look at her. Look at this beautiful magical rock. She's giving very much dense queen, rock queen, material girl, 3D queen. I love that for her. Seems pretty solid, just vibing in its density and its 3D reality. But there are literal whole entire worlds inside this thing. You thought it was just a rock? Like, you think you're just your body, right? If you went inside of this rock, you would find water. Molecules of water inside this rock, living their best life. Just in there. It's chilling. And if you went inside the water molecules, you would find air. Molecules of air inside the water that's inside the rock. And if you went inside the molecules of air, you would find realms of light, just pure particles of light inside of the air, inside of the water, inside of the rock. Reality is like a Russian nesting doll, like the ultimate quantum Russian nesting doll. You know, the dolls inside the doll, inside the doll, inside the doll, except everything, all of these realities are existing simultaneously, all at once. So the T is, we are only focusing on one layer. Our consciousness is coagulated around the densest, most obvious, most physical, material layer of our reality. We're really out here living that rock life. We're living on rock consciousness right now. But we could be light consciousness at any moment. It would only take a switch of perspective. It would only take a switch of focus. So these things are easy to say and they're easy to read and they sound nice and pretty, but you don't really understand them until you have direct cognition of them, until you have a direct experience of them. So I'm going to walk you through really quickly an experience that will allow you to slip through the layers of reality and switch your focus. Okay, but first, let's get comfortable. Let's sit up straight and tall, allowing our channels to align, stacked up on top of each other. Close those big, beautiful eyes. Start focusing on the breath. And let's get very interdimensional between the dimensions. So let's take a deep breath in. And out through the nose. Let's do this 2 more times. Deep breath in. And exhale. And another deep breath in through the nose. And exhale. And just breathe as normal as whatever is comfortable. Any pace that's comfortable. I want you to start to feel your body. Bring your awareness to your body. Feel how solid it is. Feel its weight sitting against the chair or the couch or the floor. Feel the density of the bones, its heaviness, just like the rock. Now start to notice the fluid nature within the solidity, the water element in your cells, the flowing, moving blood, the glandular system, the rivers, the channels that are flowing through your body. So many different liquids this body can create. Start to tune into them. Feel the rivers moving through your body, just like the river that Guru Nanak stepped into. And follow their flow as they circulate throughout your avatar. You can become sensitive enough to begin to feel your blood flowing. And feel how much lighter that feels in comparison to the physical body that you were feeling before that. Feel yourself become lighter. The air element emerging. The space between the cells. The breath that's moving in and out. the winds that pass through this body, the gases, the airs. They aren't trapped in the body. They come out and they go in as they feel, at their will. Tune into that space and expand. Spread out beyond the bounds of the physical form. And now go within the air, even more subtle. Feel the light that's within you. That pure consciousness that's always been there. But it's much more than light. It's aware. It's intelligent. As you tune into it, it tunes into you. Feel that ancient watching light, that ever-present light. Notice how this light seems to have its own presence, its own intelligence. Just like when you're in a room and you can feel somebody is watching you. But this presence is very wise, very ancient, very vast. Now allow yourself to sense the other beings who are sharing this dimension with you. Your awareness has introduced you into this dimension, and you're not alone. It feels very full. Their sentience is palpable. They're already here, already present. Like radio waves or Wi-Fi signals moving through the room. These beings are just here, broadcasting their love and their wisdom. As you walk around this earth, you're not actively thinking of gravity, but it is an invisible presence that is very much interacting with you at all times. Just like this dimension. You might feel a tingling on your skin, a warmth around your head, around your heart. Maybe you feel like you're floating, maybe you feel like you're expanding. These are all the ways your human form recognizes contact. Some of you might see colors or patterns or symbols. Others might hear tones or feel emotions that suddenly showed up that are not yours. Trust whatever way the contact presents itself to you. It usually presents itself in the form of your most powerful psychic gift. So if you are clairvoyant, you might see. If you are clairaudient, you might hear. If you are clairsentient, you might feel. This is how simple contact can be. Knowing that they're here with you, connected through your consciousness. Ask them a question in your mind. And then notice what shifts in your awareness. Telepathic communication will come to you in the form of a feeling or an image or a sudden knowing arising. This is communication. And then I'll ask you to bring your awareness to the space behind your physical body. Bring your awareness to right behind your head. And you feel that. And now ask yourself, how are you feeling that? There are no hands touching it. There's no skin touching it. There's no eyes looking at it. So what is seeing that? How do you see the space behind your head, behind your body? Because you are not your body. You are the thing observing your body. And your awareness doesn't stop there. It spreads through the whole multiverse. Okay, now take a big inhale. Hold the breath, knowing you can come back to this space at any second, any time of the day. And exhale. And come back to this space. So that's as deep as we can go on YouTube. But we're going to have much more in-depth contact rituals, experiences, and step-by-step guides for how to open spaces that allow multi-dimensional beings to exist in this energy with you, in this density with you. But now that we are in this spaced out awareness, I want to share something really special with you. Okay, so that Pleiadian Japji transmission that I created when I blipped out of this dimension, I want to listen to it all together while we're in this space, of light. So just hold your meditative space, close your eyes, start focusing on your breath, and we will receive together. About 400 or 500 years ago, a Pleiadian scout was sent to Earth. They came not as a ruler, not as a savior, but simply as an observer, a traveler moving through the densities, gathering the codes of this world. They walked the mountains, the rivers. They listened to the very hum of the earth, the rhythm of the breath of a human. They felt the pulse of the ancient divinity that is woven into this fabric of reality. And when their mission was complete, they returned home to their crystal pyramid high above the thresholds of time, space, and causality. And there, in the light of their star, they sat, and they began to speak all that they had gathered. What they had gathered was this: a frequency, a prayer, a transmission from the infinite, a song birthed from the river itself, a code that can bend time and space for those who understand its rhythm. Let the sound move through you, not as words, but as memory, not as poetry, but as a coming home. There are so many karmic plays, it isn't possible to write them all. The great giver withholds nothing, not even the tiniest sesame seed. There are so many warriors begging to merge into thee. There are so many who are counting, but never reflect on you, never see you. So many are exhausted, having broken themselves on their vices. There are so many who take everything and then deny receiving anything. Inhale really deep and exhale. And my manager is saying that is enough. The full transmission is on Patreon. So notice what you feel in your body, what messages or sensations were arising while you're listening to the light language. There's no right or wrong way to experience this. Just like how beings can appear to us in infinite amounts of ways, this transmission might speak to all of you differently, and you should definitely receive it, receive the whole thing. So, what did you notice? What did you feel? Remember, contact isn't always about seeing spaceships or hearing big booming voices. Sometimes it's as subtle as a new thought, or a little Charlie, or a feeling of peace, or simply knowing you're not alone. Okay, so now please drop a comment to let me know what you experienced, what you were feeling. What did you see? Did you get any tingles? Did you see any colors?
I saw some colors.
You saw some colors, baby. Or did you get any special messages? Did a child all of a sudden show up? Don't worry if you're like, girl, I didn't feel anything. Sometimes it's like it takes a few tries to tune into these different frequencies. They're very different from what we've been used to focusing on and paying attention all the time. Also, if you want to get deeper with the work with the 25th Pauti of Japji, there is a mantra sheet on the Patreon and a full slow pronunciation of the words repeated 11 times. So you can add that into your wealth practices, into your magical wealth practices. So let's connect to higher realms and stack these coins, because there's no need to be broke to be spiritual. And it's obviously so much fun over here in our Discord and in our Patreon, and we'd love to have you. So join and do the things, the liking and the subscribing and the commenting. Please do the things. I guess that's what you're supposed to say on it. All right, so here's the deal. What we just made is not just some random meditation. It is a direct contact tool that works by using your own awareness as the bridge. It's based on coherent thought sequencing, what Dr. Greer uses for CE5, but we made it better. More streamlined, more mystical, with a protection mantra, and way less stiff. And if you've never done this before, prepare for things to get weird. This meditation will literally take your awareness from the body out into space and allow you to send a real, energetic invitation to interdimensional beings. No middlemen, no waiting for the government to tell you aliens are real. Just you, your mind, and the vastness of the cosmos. So, if you're down to actually try this, grab a Google satellite image, a Google Map image of your house, yes, really, and head over to Patreon, where the full guided experience is waiting for you.